Hi, everyone. Wow, I'm getting questions already. I'm going to let some questions come in. My hair is drying. I'm going to actually shoot some videos in a little while, so I was getting ready, but my hair is still a little bit wet. Hopefully it doesn't get frizzy during the live. Hi, everyone. Let's see. I'm just looking over at this. This is going to stay on the channel. It's just going to stay on the channel. It's not going to go anywhere, so it's going to stay on the channel. For those of you asking, can I use a CeraVe salicylic acid cleanser every day? You can, depending on your skin, honestly, if your skin can tolerate it, if you have really oily skin, but I would ease into doing that and see how your skin is reacting. What can I use while using adapalene? Honestly, as long as your skin can tolerate, you can use anything with adapalene. It's all about your skin, you guys. But we're getting tons of questions. Hello from Germany, Slovenia. Let's see. I love this. Love it, love it. Hi, everyone. It's been a little while since I've done a live. I did a live kind of at the beginning of all of the, quarantine, self-quarantine stuff, and I decided it was time for another live. So here we are. I'm in my office. There's always a chance that my toddler is going to run in here like a crazy person and interrupt. I'm going to give you guys a heads up for that because you just never know. Where's everyone from? Tunisia, love it. Another from Germany, India. Wow, there's so many questions. This is unbelievable. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to do a live with you and answer some of your questions. I get so many questions. I try to answer a ton of them in our private Facebook group. So when this live is over, I'll leave a link to that too, because that's a good time for me that's a good place for me to answer your questions, because I have time sometimes like at night or early in the morning when I wake up and I'm on my phone, I'll go in the Facebook group. Spain, Hawaii, Big Island, Arizona, Denmark, Toronto. Love it. England, Singapore, Ukraine, San Antonio. I lived in San Antonio for a little while when I was little. Okay. Gonna clear my throat, start answering some questions. We've got a ton of them. Let's see. Hello from Sweden, Montenegro. I almost went to Montenegro. I went to Croatia, but did not make it there. Okay. So can I put light retinol serums on my face over my moisturizer? Yes, you absolutely can. If you are trying to adjust to using your retinol, then you absolutely can put it on top of your moisturizer. You're going to get more of a benefit if it's under your moisturizer though. So that's the better way to go with it. What do you recommend for hyperpigmentation? There are so many different things to do for hyperpigmentation. First and foremost, if it's really bad hyperpigmentation, like the stuff that I deal with, mine is melasma, and you can't see it obviously because I have makeup on right now, but I get melasma, and that's due to hormones, which is so much harder to deal with. But you want to look for those brightening acids, and then for other ingredients like alpha-arbutin, that's a really good one. Hydroquinone, which is prescription strength usually. You want to go with something like that, and that's truly going to help your hyperpigmentation. Can I use vitamin C in the morning and niacinamide at night? Yes, you can. And if the products do well together, then you can use them together in the same routine. Also, niacinamide is not an active like vitamin C is. It works very similarly in the sense that it can help really brighten your skin, but it's actually going to strengthen your skin and work really well. If you get that flushing that some people get from niacinamide, it probably means the pH level was not right for that product. And so I would recommend trying some other niacinamide products. What kind of facial treatments can I have while pregnant? You can do almost anything while pregnant. You just want to avoid some really strong ingredients, ingredients like retinol, salicylic acid. I would always just talk to your doctor though, because you don't really know what they're going to advise you to stay away from. So it's not really about what kind of facial you can have. It's more about the ingredients to stay away from. But if you go see someone who is an experienced esthetician and you tell them you're pregnant, they'll know how to handle you. Let's see. Hi from Croatia. Mineral SPF clogs my pores, but chemical triggers my rosacea. Help. That's a really tough one, and it is something that I see commonly. What I would do is still try out more mineral sunscreens. There's so many now on the market. Truly, it's just going to be a lot of, testing things out until you find something that you truly like. And I know that that's not the answer you want to hear, but it's true. You have to really just kind of play around with these products and see what's going to work for you. I do recommend EltaMD though. I know that the dermatologists I always talk to always recommend that brand. So that might be a good one to start with. Let's see. What do you think about Glow Recipes new toner? I used it actually in a video not too long ago. I like it. Very gentle. It has, I think, a combination of BHAs and PHAs, so it's really gentle. I really like that one. Let's see. What do you recommend for nasal labial folds? Some say filler there is dangerous. Should there be injections in other areas that lift the cheek for this? Yes. So if you want to get, if you don't like your nasal labial folds, so these are the marionette lines. And P.S., they're very normal to have. I have had these lines since I was in college. I remember I took my freshman year of college, I took my student ID photo, and all I could say was my nasal labial folds. And I was like, geez, these, it really stands out. But if it really bothers you, if you don't like the way it looks, then what I would recommend, instead of getting the filler there, I would recommend getting filler here. We have videos with Dr. Deer, but you can also follow him on his Instagram. He posts a lot about this. He's all about lifting, right? Instead of putting filler in this area of your face, he actually thinks it's better to lift, because if you lift, you'll see, look at my nasal labial line right there. If I were to put filler in this area, it would lift it. And then the line would be less pronounced. And so that's kind of how he likes to do things. Looks kind of good. Victoria, I hope that helps to answer. But honestly, I think you need to get some consultations with plastic surgeons or dermatologists, whoever it is that's going to be your injector, and just get a feel for what they're saying and why they would recommend doing things, because sometimes they will put filler in the nasal labial folds if they think it's right. So it really depends on your own face too. Let's see. What do I think about the brand Naturopathica? I like some products from them and I dislike some products from them. I think they are pretty overpriced in a lot of ways. They're a luxury brand. You're getting a lot of natural ingredients, and sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean it's better. So sometimes I think they can be a little expensive, but when I do use some of their products, there are definitely some standout products that I like. I don't think they're for everybody though. I honestly think that they're more of a treat, and they have some really interesting types of products. But with every single brand, especially once a brand comes out with more than 10 products, there's always going to be something that isn't made for you. You know what I mean? So there are definitely always going to be products I don't like from a brand after they've made a few products, because it's not always just made for each person. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So there are going to be products that I really like and products I don't like. And for the most part, I'd say there are not too many brands that I'm like 100% no. I'd say maybe like Lush, I would keep off of your face, but I like it for the body, for instance. So there are definitely things like that happen, but I'd say there aren't too many brands that I would say I just don't like. So I like some products from Naturopathica. Do I think you can find better, more effective products for less money? Absolutely. You absolutely can. But do I think some of the products are really nice? I do. Should we still wear sunscreen if you do not go out, especially these days? So I wear sunscreen every single day, but you guys can see this is all natural light that's coming in on me. And I have these French doors here in my office that really give off a lot of light, especially in the morning. So I wear sunscreen every single day while I'm inside. I also, know that I'm going to be spending a lot of time outdoors, like when I take a break at lunch and stuff, I'm going to go play with my toddler outside and everything. So, then I'm spending time outside. So if you're getting the UV rays coming in from your windows, which sometimes you can't really tell. So if you're just sitting next to a window, I would definitely wear your sunscreen, because the reason for that is because the windows only block one of the UV rays. Which UV ray is it? I can't even remember right now, but it only blocks one of the UV rays. It's not blocking all of the UV rays. So you need to have that full protection, especially for your skin and your skin aging. Let's see. Are AHAs and BHAs good for preventing skin tags, retinol and AHAs together at night, is it a good idea? So that's two questions. So the AHAs and BHAs good for preventing skin tags. I wouldn't say that they prevent the skin tags. They might be able to help a little bit, but a lot of the time skin tags can be due to more like hormones and stuff like that. So you can't 100% do anything about it. I would just kind of let it happen and then get them removed. It's probably a little bit easier and less stressful to do something like that. As far as the retinol and AHAs together at night, it all depends on your skin. If your skin can tolerate it, then absolutely. I do it sometimes. It just really depends on how strong each of the products are too, because some retinol products can be stronger than others. Same with the AHA products. Some of them can be stronger than others. So you really have to just play around with it and see how your skin reacts to it. Let's see. Does birth control tend to cause acne or skin issues? It can. Birth control is affecting your hormones. You are taking hormones, so it absolutely can. For some people, it really helps them with their acne and actually clears it up, and for some people, it causes acne. So you might have to play around a little bit with the type of birth control that you're taking. Let's see. Other questions? Woo, these questions are coming in. Okay. Hi, Susan. Any recommendations for how to lighten dark, rough textured skin on the neck? I've been trying retinol, but skin on the neck is so sensitive. It is, and sometimes I don't put actives on my neck because my skin there is really thin and sensitive too. What I would say though, for hyperpigmentation and texture, so you don't have to use retinol there per se. You can use other types of, like the chemical exfoliants. You can use there, maybe try something that's a little bit more gentle, start with PHAs and move on up to something like lactic acid that has a larger molecular structure, so it's not going to penetrate as deeply, and you might like that better, and it'll help because AHAs are really hydrating, so it'll help with that hydration too that you probably need. I would also look into, maybe talking to your dermatologist about something like hydroquinone. It will dry your skin a little bit, but then you can also use something that's hydrating on your skin. You can use a hydrating toner like a hyaluronic acid or something as well, and then lock that in with moisturizer afterwards. Let's see. Trying to look at all of these questions. I answered that one. All right. Okay, let's see. How many times a day should you reapply sunscreen? It honestly depends. Now that we've been in self-quarantine, we've been waking up later and staying up later at night. This goes for my kids too. We've just kind of been a little out of whack, I guess, with our schedule. So our days in the sunlight are getting shorter because we used to wake up like at 6 a.m. or something with my kids, and now they're waking up around like 8 or 9. So by the time I'm even in my office, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then after that, we stay up later. So my sunlight time, I guess, the time in the sun has cut down a little bit shorter. So it's really dependent on that. Like, what is your schedule? You want to reapply every 2 hours, usually. The bottles of your sunscreen will say how often you need to reapply. And it's usually every 2 hours. So if you are going to be exposed to sunlight every 2 hours, then you need to reapply like that. So that's the way to think of it. Let's see. What products? Sorry, you guys. Don't use this very often. It's moving fast. Should I be using a toner after every step in my routine? So I know that you probably watch Nye, and she says to do that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But again, it goes back to your skin type. If you have dehydrated skin, then yeah, why not? Why not use something? As long as it's like a nice liquidy texture, more of that watery kind of toner. A spray toner is a great example for that. It can really help. The whole point of that though is you're basically giving your product something to take that water from, so it hydrates your skin. So if you have dehydrated, dry skin, that's a great option for you. Does everyone need to do that? No. And sometimes for some people, if you have, sensitive or acne-prone skin, using too many products can actually just be worse for your skin, even if it's something very light like that. So it really depends on your skin. Let's see. All right. What do you think about DIY face masks? DIY face masks. So I believe that your food should stay in the kitchen. It should be what we eat. There are probably some ingredients that can be really great for your skin, like honey, for instance. But I do think that, you're going to get better results from using actual products that are meant to do whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And it takes so much longer with food anyway. So if at the most, you're going to get very minimal results. And at the worst, you're going to potentially hurt your skin. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of it. Can you do a full review of the Ordinary skin line? I have a video actually about the Ordinary. I'm going to do another video though on, I think I'm going to make it a full skincare routine using the Ordinary products, because I think a lot of people really want that. So I'm going to do that soon. I'm getting the products together. Hey, Sue, do you use vitamin C with salicylic acid in your morning routine? So I don't actually use a lot of salicylic acid on my own skin, just because salicylic acid, in my opinion, is best for clogged pores and for acne and everything. And that's not one of the main issues that I deal with. What I deal with is, I want the brightening. I have melasma and hyperpigmentation. I'm getting older, that kind of stuff. So I look for more of the AHAs in my skincare products. So I don't really use salicylic acid, but can you use it with your vitamin C? Again, it goes back to your skin and what you can tolerate. Some people can, some people can't, and it depends on the strength of each of your products too. So you have to play around with it a little bit to be able to figure that out. How to fight the small wrinkles on your forehead due to wrong use of an acne medication, okay? Retinol isn't working, microneedling, is microneedling good for that? So what you're saying is that your skin got a little bit, it reacted. So you had maybe like a broken skin barrier, damaged skin barrier, and then you had dry skin. So you need to exfoliate. I would look for the AHAs again, because they help to hydrate your skin too. And then they're gonna remove some of that texture as well. And then you have to hydrate your skin. So using a toner, you're actually a great example of someone who could benefit from using a toner after each of your skincare steps. And you're just really adding back in all of that hydration. And then once your skin starts to normalize a little bit more, it might not feel like you have those fine lines, because it might just be hydration. That's why sometimes people really like eye cream, is because eye cream can really help to plump that area just temporarily, if anything. So I would try that first and then see what's happening. And truly, at the end of the day, you can't really get rid of wrinkles if it's not, a dehydration thing. You can't get rid of wrinkles unless you do something like Botox. Let's see. What do you think of MDNA skin, Madonna's skincare? I actually haven't tried it. I think the packaging is very hilarious to me in some ways, because it feels very Madonna, and I love Madonna, don't get me wrong. But I guess to me, it doesn't feel like a serious skincare line because of that. But that's just a bias that I have. It's an assumption. I've never tried any of the products. They might be totally amazing, and I haven't tried them yet, but I will. Let's see, can teens with acne benefit from using retinol? Absolutely. If you are a teenager and you have acne, you might want to just first see your dermatologist. And the reason for that, truly the reason for that, is because you want to make sure that you're handling it fast so that you're not dealing with acne scars later, because acne scars are what are really hard to get rid of. So you want to try to tackle it as quickly as possible. And they might put you on a prescription, Retin-A or something like adapalene. I would try different if you're dealing with acne, especially as a teenager. But you definitely should see your dermatologist, because they're going to help you figure out what would be the best plan of attack. Let's see. Just looking at these questions, making sure I'm getting to all of them. What kind of laser do you recommend to get rid of small spider veins or broken capillaries on the nose? So if you've heard of something called V-beam, I think that is a really good way to get rid of all that redness. It's a light that's attracted to redness in your skin. So if you have rosacea, if you have broken capillaries, that would be a really good way to get rid of it. But there are a ton of different lasers to use. I have a video actually where an episode on the SAS on mixed makeup, where I got my spider veins on my legs zapped away with a laser. So you can see how that worked. I don't feel like, those treatments worked that well, and my spider veins keep coming back, which happens. It's just going to keep coming back over and over again. But on your nose, when it's broken capillaries, you might want to try V-beam. I think it's a better treatment. Is Ren AHA toner pregnancy safe? Concern is willow bark, but it's not an active ingredient, so I'm torn. So I stopped using the Ren the Ren toner during my first trimester of pregnancy, because I just feel like that's the time when you really want to be super careful, because that's when, you know, you've got the higher chances of miscarriage and all that kind of stuff. And P.S., this is not medical advice, because at the end of the day, you absolutely need to talk to your doctor about this if you're unsure. But willow bark, if you don't know, is a form of salicylic acid. It has to go through a conversion on your skin to turn into salicylic acid. And by that point, it's usually really gentle. So it's technically fine for pregnancy, but if you're worried about it and if you're worried about salicylic acid, then I would just not use it, because you know, it's one of those things where you're going to be able to use it in just a few months. So you just need to get through your pregnancy. And that's usually the way I think of things when I'm pregnant. Is I just like to be a little overly cautious because it's temporary. So I get to go back to everything afterwards. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, so Sarah says that the skin around her eyes always gets irritated by sunscreen every time she's using it, even if it's fine on the rest of her face. So what I would recommend, and this is going to be a funny suggestion from me, I would recommend an eye cream with SPF or makeup with SPF and putting that around your eyes, because it's probably formulated just slightly different, just slightly different, where it's not going to run into your eyes as much. So they probably took that into account and tried to make it a formula that wouldn't run into your eyes, because that's probably what's happening, is it's running into your eyes. You're getting it really close to the skin. And actually, I don't ever put my sunscreen, people notice this when I'm doing my routine, I don't put it directly onto my eyelids, just because I feel like it does move a lot. And whenever it does, it gets into my eyes and irritates too. So what I usually do is use an SPF that's in my makeup. And so I make sure I put all my makeup all over my eyes. Let's see. Thank you. Jesse said I look pretty. Thank you. Do you think double cleanse is still necessary if you're just using a moisturizer and reapply sunscreen SPF 50? I think so, because the way that you should think of a cleansing balm, an oil-based cleansing balm or an oil cleanser, is that oil removes oil. It attracts oil. So even at the end of the day, you've had your sunscreen on, you have your, you know, whatever oil has built on your T-zone and your face, depending on how oily you are, you want to use something that's going to help to loosen that up. And then you go in with your, you know, I usually go for a gel cleanser, but you know, if it's a cream cleanser, whatever it is, it's a water-based cleanser usually. And then you're going to use that to get it all off. So that is why I like a double cleanse, because I just think it's the best way to get the day off of your face. Let's see, how does blue light affect our skin? You know, the studies are inconclusive, to be honest. I think some people are saying there's a chance that blue light can, you know, give you hyperpigmentation and damage your skin and stuff, but it kind of depends, and there aren't enough studies on it yet. If you can get a sunscreen that protects your skin from blue light, I say, why not? Why not have that added protection? And it's not, you know, ingredients that are going to hurt your skin at all. So why not do it? And I like to find sunscreens that have the blue light filter, but is it going to harm your skin in the future? We don't really know yet. I know some dermatologists that are, you know, kind of like, let's just go ahead and start protecting against it, and some that are like, don't be too worried. And if you're talking about blue light for acne, blue light is, the LED blue lights are great for acne. Let's see. I saw, okay, how to know if you have clogged pores. You'll know if you have clogged pores if you have lots of little bumps that are white and closed off. Those are closed comedones, and those are clogged pores. If you have blackheads, those are clogged pores too. So, you know, that's, and even if you have just like little acne bumps, those might have been from clogged pores turned into acne. I'm in my late 30s, this is Victoria, and have excellent skin. Amazing. And want to take my anti-aging skincare to the next level. What types of treatments would you recommend for a monthly derm Metaspa visit? Well, I would say that just going to an esthetician then for a monthly facial would be the best way to do it, because that's honestly what's going to help keep your skin in the best shape. If you are ready to do any of the, you know, like invasive, well, sort of invasive treatments like the things like injectables and stuff, then I would go for Botox, if anything, because it can be a little bit preventatory. It can be a little bit of a prevention, because it will it'll stop you from making those expression lines and stuff that eventually turn into wrinkles. But honestly, just going for a monthly facial, if you can handle it, if you could do it, then I'd say do it. That's the best thing that I spend my money on. Hi, Susan. Regarding sunscreen, should we wait for 15 to 20 minutes before stepping out? Does sunscreen prevent tanning? Sunscreen does not prevent tanning. It'll maybe slow it, but it does not prevent tanning. If you are in the sun too long, you will eventually get a tan and worse, hyperpigmentation, and potentially start to, build up. If your skin is light, especially, you might also be getting, signs of cancer eventually. So you want to be careful with that kind of stuff. You don't want to get a tan. A tan is not good for you. I would make sure that you just get a tan with your products at home, so a fake tan. And as far as the waiting 15 to 20 minutes, I don't think you have to. I just like to, because if you put on your sunscreen, it's a cream especially, or something that's really thick, especially if it's a mineral sunscreen, it can wipe off. That's the problem. So you want it to dry down. So I like to let it dry down for 10, 15 minutes before I actually go outside. That way I don't mess it up at all. I just let it dry down, and then I know I'm ready and I'm protected. Best moisturizer for combo acne-prone skin. There are really good gel creams out these days. I think that gel creams have really come a long way for people that have oily or acne-prone skin. It also kind of depends what you're looking for as far as what's happening with your skin. So you might be breaking out and everything because your skin their skin barrier is maybe a little bit damaged. So you might want to replenish some of your lipids. And I would look for stuff that has ceramides. Actually, I was looking at it. Where is it? I was just trying this not too long ago. It's by the Inkey List. It's their ceramide night treatment. I really like this. You guys can see. It looks, I guess on camera, it looks like a lotion more, but see how it looks like that? It's more of a gel when you put it on. And I was having a hard time finding a ceramide cream that was light, and I feel like this one is really light. Actually, I like it a lot. So for people that want to, repair their skin barrier and they want ceramides, but they don't want something that's really rich and creamy, which tends to happen a lot with ceramide creams, you might want to try that one. It feels really nice. I like it. It's a little sticky, but I think a lot of gels are sticky by nature. Let's see. What are my thoughts on Pycnogenol versus vitamin C? I honestly don't know. I don't know what that is, to be honest. I'm not sure. I wish I could give you a good answer, but I don't have a good one. I like vitamin C because there are a lot of studies on it, on L-ascorbic acid specifically. If you can get it in a stable form and use it on your skin, it has antioxidant properties. It helps to brighten your skin. It'll, help stimulate collagen growth, but that's only, really the studies are truly on L-ascorbic acid. So that's what I would say about that one. Oh, Obagi at-home chemical peel block. I actually did it last night and my skin is not bad. I was a little worried. I started it last night. It's gonna take a second because I think I wanna continue doing it. If I hated it, I wouldn't continue doing it, but I liked it so far. So I'm gonna continue doing it. So the vlog will be ready soon, but I started it last night finally. I was a little scared. I kept putting it off. I was intimidated by it just because the name it says that it's a peel. So it seems scary, but it's actually not. It does have a little bit of, it has a good burn though, a little tingle the first few minutes that you put it on, and then it goes away and you're totally fine after that. Hi, love you too. I wanna ask you that, is it okay if I do a triple cleanse? Cleansing oil, Bioderma, and gel-based cleanser. I think there was more to this, but it didn't take the whole thing. So I guess the reason, I need to know the reason for that. What I would do though is I would use the Bioderma micellar water first if you're gonna do this, and not do it all over your face. I would maybe just loosen up the eye makeup, or use your oil cleanser first, and then whatever eye makeup seems like it's gonna be a little harder to get off, then go in with micellar water and then finish it with a gel cleanser. Because you wanna, at the end of the day, you wanna end it with that gel cleanser or your water-based cleanser, because you wanna make sure, and when I say water, I don't mean micellar water, with your gel, cream, water-based cleanser, something like that, the typical kind of cleanser, because you want to get all of that off of your skin. Someone's asking for a good alpha-arbutin serum. I've got these sitting, I'm basically giving you guys my video, but I'm doing a video on Inkey List today actually, And one of the products I recommend is their alpha-arbutin. And it's because it's kind of hard to find a very straightforward alpha-arbutin product. If you have hyperpigmentation, I think it's a great ingredient to include in your skincare routine. Ascorbic acid or adapalene, they're completely different. Adapalene is in the retinoid family, what do you call it? Ascorbic acid is a vitamin C, so it's an antioxidant. Well, actually, vitamin A is an antioxidant too, but it's a little bit different. So ascorbic acid is doing something different. It's not fighting your acne. It is it's helping to brighten your skin and stimulate collagen growth in your skin. So you want vitamin C, ascorbic acid for that. And you want and that can help with the like post hyperpigmentation that you get from your acne. But as far as the adapalene, that's for your acne. So that's to help fight acne specifically. Do you think hyaluronic acid, oh, it disappeared. Oh man. I have dry skin. It keeps moving, you guys. I'm so sorry. I have dry skin and I want moisturizing and hydrating products because they can be so good. Things are drying, such as hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. Thank you so much. So hyaluronic acid and niacinamide should not be drying on your skin. You need to top your skin with a moisturizer. Otherwise, it will feel like they're drying out your skin because they're not meant to moisturize your skin. They're meant to give that hydration. They attract water, which is why sometimes it's nice to have either damp skin before you apply them or use a spray toner on them as well. But if you don't put your moisturizer on top, that's your occlusive ingredient, then it's not going to help to lock in that hydration. So you want to make sure you do that. Let's see, what should 20-year-olds be using for their skin? It depends on your skin and what's happening. If you have, acne problems, then you need to fight your acne. If you have normal skin, then I think just, incorporating a really good cleanser, a moisturizer, and a sunscreen would be a great place to start. So you don't have to go crazy with it, but it also depends on your skin and what you're dealing with. Let's see. Hi, Susan. Any suggestions for light ketosophilaric? Yeah. So she's got KP on her chest and neck, and she's acne prone and has dry skin that gets oily throughout the day, which is really pretty normal. So for your KP, I would say, looking for salicylic acid is a little bit helpful. You might end up having to see a dermatologist for it to, figure out what it is exactly and make sure that, it's not something else, which it's probably not, but just to make sure, I always say make sure, but I like salicylic acid. Make sure you're moisturizing for sure and taking good care of your skin. I like when there's a little bit of a mild scrub also in my cleanser because I think that helps a lot with it. Exfoliation. And for dry skin that gets oily throughout the day, it sounds like maybe you're using too many products that help to maybe dry out your skin a little bit. So it's making you produce a little bit more oil. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know what it is that you're using though, so it's hard to say. Let's see. What products, ingredients would you recommend using during humid weather? I have normal to oily skin. So it's funny, I don't personally love a ton of silicone on my skin because I have drier skin. But when I'm in humid climates, like if I go to Asia or something, and it's going to be in a humid place, like when I visit like my husband's family in India, or if I went to Hong Kong, for instance, last summer, and it was really hot and humid. And I used a lot of products that had silicone as a main ingredient because it really helps to keep everything a little bit softer and more powdery feeling on your skin. And I like that. So it really kind of depends on what you try out and everything. But in humid weather, sometimes you need a little bit more. And sometimes, products that have a little bit of alcohol in them help to really help the products work a little bit better on your skin too. So these are times when, things change up in my mind. It depends on the climate. And if it's humid, it can be different for your skin. It can cause your skin to act differently. What is a good moisturizer, occlusive, and emollient daily cream all in one? You're in your 30s, combo skin, but lately more on the dry side. So I really I've talked about this product before, the Biossance Omega repair cream is so good. It has the squalane, which is the emollient. It has I can't remember, well, it has the omega fatty acids also. It just feels really nice on the skin. It's nice and rich, but it doesn't feel heavy. It's one of my favorite moisturizers. I love it. Any tips for people that suffer from face and back acne? Been on medication for years, but it hasn't helped. There's so many more questions. It's not as easy, but what I always recommend is honestly a prescription Retin-A at that point. But you have to talk to your doctor because you don't know what it is that's happening. I had horrible back acne when I got off of birth control a long time ago. And what I found helped me was prescription Retin-A, but I had to be really strict with it. And luckily it was on my body, so I could hide, the peely and flakiness that I was starting to get. But for some people, you might need to get on birth control, or you might have to get your labs drawn and see what it is that's happening. The doctor needs to see what they should be recommending to you. And they need to hear your history and what you've been trying to, so that they can help figure out what it is that's happening. Ah, got it. Hi. So she came back with a picno, excuse me if I'm saying it wrong, pycnogenol is an antioxidant said to be as good as vitamin C, but great for sensitive skin. And she's using the Ordinary's version, but would love to hear my thoughts. So here's what I have to say. I think that, so basically that sounds like it's a derivative. And I think that derivatives can be really good. Antioxidants are great for your skin no matter what, because we're fighting free radicals all day long. Even some of the products that we're putting on our skin can sometimes cause free radical damage if the products aren't formulated correctly, or if they're old, if they oxidize, any of that kind of stuff. So you want antioxidants in your skincare routine no matter what. So you're getting benefits no matter what. But as far as the claims that they're making, it's hard to say. You basically have to just keep trying it and see if it's working for your skin and doing what you want it to do. And then that's how you really can judge it. Because if there aren't studies on it that show it really does do this, and it's really hard to say, it's all dependent on if you like it and if it's working for your skin. And if it is, then I would continue using it. Recommendations for chemical exfoliant products for sensitive combination skin. Dermalogica has their microfoliant. It's a powder exfoliant. It's really gentle. What people don't realize is it also has salicylic acid in it, and it's a little bit more of a gentle way of using salicylic acid on your skin instead of a toner. So I recommend that often. I really like that product. PHAs are all the rage, polyhydroxy acids these days. They have larger molecules than some of the AHAs, so it doesn't penetrate your skin as deeply, so then it starts to work a little bit better. I also think using a serum as a chemical exfoliant instead of a toner can be a little bit more gentle on your skin too. Yay, Kevin says it. He loves the Misha Sun Milk. What mist do you like when your face feels dry? I use Mario's, but don't like it. Let's see. Which one do I really like? I have a few on my desk. I've been using, so I think Niod has such a good spray toner. It's just so expensive. So I got the Hylamide one to try it, and it's very similar, and I think it's just as good. So I think it's like close to being just as good. I really think the Niod one, even though it's way too expensive, it's $50. I think it's just amazing what it does for my skin. It feels amazing. I love it. I keep stocking up on it. But the Hylamide one is really, really good too if you want something that's a little bit more affordable. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Naturium Vitamin C Super Serum Plus? I think it's amazing. I think that product actually is a really interesting product because it has that golden vitamin C in it, and then it also has retinol. It has niacinamide in it. It has hyaluronic acid in it. It's just a really good all-in-one kind of product, and it does so much for your skin, and it's pretty gentle because the active ingredients of vitamin C and the retinol are encapsulated, so they don't even touch your skin. They don't actually interact until they get on your skin, so it's a really amazing product. I actually think that you can use it during the morning time in place of your regular vitamin C because the retinol is actually photostable, and then you can, and what I mean by photostable is it doesn't degrade in the sun. It actually can handle it, and then use a regular retinol at night or even something stronger, depending again on if your skin can tolerate it, because that's what it really always comes down to. Let's see. AHA for bumps, AHA or BHA for bumps. It depends. If the bumps are clogged pores, then I would say go for the BHA. But if it's like texture, I guess just like getting a little bit of texture and stuff, I think the AHAs. But if you can get a combination, then that's even better, using both. Even if it's on dry skin. The AHAs, though, are better for dry skin. Ooh, these move fast. How do you prevent milia? Milia is partially genetic. So if your mom, for instance, has bad milia on her skin, then there's a very good chance that you're going to be prone to milia. One thing that you can keep in mind is not overdoing it with products. So if you layer too many products, this is when having too extreme of a routine, too many different steps and layers can actually not be good. If you're using too many layers, or if your creams are too rich, then it can actually create that milia. So that's something to keep in mind, but it's mostly genetic in that sense. How do you reduce the appearance of veins on your face? Well, it depends. Are you talking about capillaries, or are you talking about actual veins? Like I have this one vein that sometimes starts to pop right in the middle of my forehead, and I can't do anything about it because it's an important vein. So that, if it's a vein like that, not much you can do about it, but except for maybe don't get too worked up, because that's when your blood starts flowing and it starts to become a little bit more exacerbated as far as the way it looks. But as far as broken capillaries, for prevention, you want to just make sure you're gentle with your skin. And that's the stuff that I'm always talking about. Like, people don't realize that even, the little extraction tools for pores, if you press too hard, you can actually break capillaries. Same with your makeup wipes, anything like that. If you're pressing too hard, you can get broken capillaries, and those are really hard to reverse. And then I was saying earlier in the live that if you want to get rid of it, though, I recommend getting V-Beam done, because it really helps get rid of the broken capillaries really, really quickly. And we were in the middle of filming an episode of The Sass to show you guys how it works, and Sharzad was due to get a second treatment. I had already gotten my treatments done, but Sharzad was supposed to get her second treatment, and then we all went into lockdown, so she hasn't gotten it yet. Solutions. Another one with the KP. It's such a, this is a hard one to deal with, but I really recommend getting, something with salicylic acid for your body washes. I was saying that I really like scrubs for that, but you have to be very careful with it. It's, something that you might even want to end up going and seeing your dermatologist for, because it depends on the severity of it, but you want to be gentle still. And I really like salicylic acid for any kind of texture like that. Holy Frog AHA cleanser, I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful cleanser and works really, really well. Does retinol help remove milia? Not really. Milia is very hard to get rid of, and it would take a long time to use your products to get rid of it. It's best to go see an esthetician, or some estheticians, PS, in California are actually not supposed to get rid of your milia for you. So usually you have to go see an esthetician that's in a dermatologist's office, or see an actual dermatologist, because they technically have to very lightly puncture your skin to get it out. What should I use to reduce dark circles? Dark circles are a really tough one. So first, what I would do is I would gently pull the skin away to see if you actually have pigment that's causing the dark circles. A lot of the time, it's the way shadows hit, right? Like, certain shadows can make, if I'm up like this, there's no shadow on my smile line, and you don't see the smile line anymore because of the way the light's hitting. But if I go like that, the way the light is hitting, it looks like I have a more pronounced smile line. So it's the same thing with dark circles. If I go up, so if I go like it's not as good of an example as the smile line, but light plays a big part in it. And that's why sometimes people get filler in their tear troughs, and that's to get rid of that light, because it helps to lift it. And it's kind of like, you think of it kind of like highlighter. If you use highlighter in certain areas, it helps to give that lifted look, and it reflects the light. So it makes the pigment look like it's a little bit different. It's kind of the same with your dark circles. So you have sometimes a combination of actual pigment and then the light, the way the shadows are hitting. So you might have to have a couple of things done, but I would also recommend, if you do have actual pigment, to use something like hydroquinone, but do it under the care of a doctor so that they can help you, because you can do too much hydroquinone as well. I love hearing you guys that I've helped you with your skin. Honestly, it's like the best thing I've ever done, is to know that I've helped people with their skin. It makes me so happy. How to avoid pilling and stickiness when using serums and creams. certain ingredients don't react well together. Sometimes I find that it tends to be a lot of the time when there's a lot of silicone in your skincare routine. If too many of your products have too much silicone, then they start to pill. So what I recommend doing is, at the very least, looking at all your products and seeing if there's too much silicone in each of your products. I don't think silicone is a bad ingredient. I never want you guys to think that. I just think that when you have too much of specific ingredients, it can cause things like stickiness and pilling. And then I would look at, it sounds like a lot of the time stickiness comes from products like hyaluronic acid. So when it's like a gel-based kind of serum, you might get that stickiness. So you want to look for a combination where it's working all together. And at the very least, just let it dry down a little bit more than I would normally tell you guys to. Usually I'm like, just put your skincare on right after each other and it doesn't have to dry. But sometimes you do have to let it dry down if your products are not interacting well. And this is, I talk about formulation a lot and that I prefer products that have been properly formulated. And what I mean by that is, a lot of brands will take into account how a product feels. Is it too sticky? Is it creating pilling? Is it drying strangely? So these are things that brands actually take into account when they're creating products. So if it's a really expensive product, at the very least, it should feel very good and interact well with all of your products. What cream would you recommend for oily skin and wrinkle prevention? Also, do you know if you can use Retin-A after using the NuFace? Yes, I don't use Retin-A, but I use my retinol right after I use my NuFace. And then as far as the oily skin and wrinkle prevention, well, if you're going on Retin-A, that is absolutely your wrinkle prevention. That is the best product you can probably use, and best ingredient. As far as oily skin, same thing with that Retin-A. I would focus more so on the Retin-A and maybe get just like a gel cream or something if you have oily skin. Let's see. Thoughts on Clinique and Innisfree? I said this earlier, I think that every brand has really good products and every brand has products that you personally might not like, just because not every product is going to be formulated for you. Sometimes they're just terrible products in general, and that can happen too. I think once a brand gets past 10 products, it's hard to make every single product a product that every person is going to love. It's just impossible to do. But I think both brands have good products and some bad products. Let's see. Thoughts on an online esthetician visit as your first consultation? I would just wait till things open up, because the point of seeing an esthetician is that they're going to really get to work on your skin. Dermatologist, on the other hand, if you have a skin condition that you're trying to fix immediately, if you've got something that hurts, I would, definitely do a consultation with a dermatologist online. But as far as an esthetician, what you're truly getting from an esthetician is their hands and their experience and their work on your skin. So you want to see that person in person. Laneige Cica Mask. I think it's nice. It feels really good, and it really is it helps to calm your skin. I wouldn't use it on its own though. I would use it, then put on all of your skincare afterwards. Thoughts on e.l.f. Vitamin C Serum? Actually, I have tried it. Have I tried that one? I'm pretty sure I've tried that, and I think I liked it. But I thought, what I think worked best about that was not the vitamin C, but it just felt like a really nice hydrating serum. Oh, everything's moving so fast. Okay, can you please talk about the best, most gentle way to shave? Okay, no, let's see. Thoughts on retinaldehyde? I think it's actually fine. I think that it's just a really gentle, it's a gentle form of retinol. But I know that like some people don't like it and some people do. I think it's fine. Do I look for it in my products? Not always, but I wouldn't mind if it's in my product, because I know that it's going to work. And so I think it's totally fine. Let's see. Have you ever used Sulwhasoo? I have, but I haven't used it in a very long time, and I can't remember my thoughts on it. Fungal acne, I have 2 videos now on the channel about fungal acne. One of them with Dr. Desai. She's a board-certified dermatologist, if you don't know. And then she also helped me put together a skincare routine, because I don't know much about fungal acne. I really don't. I'm not going to try to act like I do, because I don't. And I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. So I had Dr. Desai help me with both videos. Hydroquinone, good or bad for the skin? I think hydroquinone is really good if used properly, and it can really give you some good results. Can you mix vitamin C and hyaluronic acid? Absolutely. What do I think about Murad? I think it's a great line. Again, there are some products, once you get past the 10 products, there are going to be products that you love and products that you don't like. And that's mostly every single brand. I think Dr. Murad himself is such a sweet man. And he, the thing that I talk about often when I bring him up is, he really taught me to eat my water. And what I mean by that is he taught me that, it's not all about just guzzling a ton of water to get nice skin and get that hydration internally. It's about the food that you eat and how high in water content that food is. So your fruits and your vegetables especially have lots of water. And so he really talks about that. He has a book on it, I think, but he always used to talk about that. And I found that so fascinating. You watched your IG Live with Shireen Idris. What can you tell us about your possible skincare line? So exciting. As far as the skincare line, I think there is fun information coming. That's what I'm going to say. But I love Dr. Idris. She is amazing. And we've had some fun calls. Let's see. Okay, moving fast again. I use tea tree oil. Can you use tea tree oil on acne? You can. If I wouldn't use that as the first thing that I look for, though, in treating my acne. I would look for salicylic acid and some kind of a retinoid. Those are going to be the real products, the real ingredients that help your acne. Benzoyl peroxide, if necessary. It just depends, again, on what it is that you're dealing with. Tea tree oil is really great for inflammation, though. So I think that if you get a lot of redness, you might end up liking tea tree oil. It can also be irritating to your skin, so you have to play around with that stuff. And that's why I'm always talking about, is it going to irritate your skin? It might not irritate my skin, but it might irritate your skin. So you have to keep that stuff in mind. Can I use the ordinary niacinamide and the ordinary alpha-arbutin in the same routine? You can, unless it says, I know that the ordinary has a couple of ingredients that they say you're not supposed to mix together, and that's not the norm. So I would make sure with them first and foremost, and I hear that they have great customer service and get back to you quickly. So I would check with them, but normally, yes, you absolutely can. And in what order? So I would go with the niacinamide. No, actually, it depends on how, closest to your skin is going to give you the best results, right? So if you want to really get that alpha-arbutin to work, then I would go with the alpha-arbutin first and then put on the niacinamide. I haven't touched the actual texture of the alpha-arbutin by the ordinary, so I don't know if it's a gel or, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things, you got to play around with it. I think they would both be fine in either order, though. But they're going to be your serums. They're going to be your actives. Let's see, we've got about 10 minutes left. Why do all lip products break you out? They might be too occlusive for you. Sometimes that can happen. They can be a little too occlusive. So I would keep it maybe more towards the center of your lips and look for stuff that has more of a serum kind of feel and not something super occlusive. Shoot. Can you use niacinamide at the same time as azelaic? Yes, and azelaic actually they're both ingredients that play really well with other ingredients. Again, you want to test out how your skin is reacting because there could always be other ingredients too in these formulas that maybe irritate your skin. So that's something also to keep in mind. You always want to be just aware of what you're putting on your skin and what could be causing potential irritation. But usually that'd be fine. Different for neck, chest, anti-aging. I wouldn't go with different as my anti-aging retinoid. I would use that for acne specifically. And, you might get a little bit of added benefit of anti-aging, but what I would really go for anti-aging is true retinoids. If you can make it all the way up to a Retin-A, a prescription, even better. But my skin usually can't tolerate it. I don't like going through the whole phase of peeling and sensitivity and all of that stuff. I'm not patient enough. I know myself. So I like to stick with the over-the-counter retinols, and I get just as good of a benefit from it. Currently have PIE on my cheeks. I'm sorry. If you guys don't know what that is, it's that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So after you have the acne, you still have that mark left over. So for day, Crave Cleanser, alpha-arbutin, niacinamide, CeraVe Lotion. Night, same, except switch niacinamide for azelaic acid. Do you think beneficial to get rid of marks? I think laser might be the only way if you've been using that for a while. So you have to be patient with your skincare routine. no matter what. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away really quickly. So if you've been using it for only like a couple of weeks, maybe even just a month, I would stick with that still. But there do come times when your whatever issue it is that you're dealing with for your skin might need a stronger treatment. And I'm in that case right now. When I have melasma that's hormonal, that's not going to completely go away. Probably, I'm not even a full year out from my last pregnancy, so my hormones haven't even stabilized yet. I feel like after you've gone a year, you can really see what's happening with your skin. And it's the same with this kind of stuff. Hyperpigmentation is a really hard one, just like melasma is. And sometimes you have to get those treatments done, and that really kickstarts everything. And then you have to also stick with your skincare routine to help maintain all of that. It's not fun though, and I'm so sorry. How to stop darn chin breakouts and whiteheads. Even 10% lactic acid twice a week, it doesn't go away. So lactic acid isn't going to really help with the acne. So that's something to keep in mind. It'll help a little bit, and it'll help brighten your skin and help your clogged pores a little bit, but you really need the salicylic acid to really get into your pores and get rid of that. And I would also take a look at the products that you're using and see if any of them are occlusive. If you're using coconut oil on your skin, that might be something to get rid of. Those types of products you need to look for. See if it's causing that. On your chin could also be hormonal, so that's something to also keep in mind. And then I go back to, you want to see your dermatologist and just see what they have to say about it. Best facial or mask for combination skin with concern of aging. I have an old video on this, but you can multi-mask is what it's called. And that's, you can get masks that you can get a couple of different masks for your skin to treat it and use it specifically in the places where it needs to be used. So if you're oily in your T-zone, you can use something that's going to help to soak up that oil there. But if you happen to be dry in your cheeks, you can use something that's hydrating at the same time. So you let them all sit. You don't put them on top of each other. You just put the masks in the place that you need it. And that's something I would recommend. Let's see, thoughts on the new You to the People Yerba Mate mask. I actually haven't tried it yet. I'm excited and I'm excited to try it. I don't love all Youth to the People products. I'll throw that out there. I think sometimes I'm kind of like, I think these products are a little bit overhyped, in my opinion. It's not my favorite brand. I don't hate it, because I don't usually hate brands. Best vitamin C from The Ordinary. I liked I think it was the F. I'm pretty bad. I have a whole video on the ones that I tried. The 22% was way too strong for my skin. It broke me out immediately. Let's see. How are you guys doing, by the way? We got right into those questions and we didn't even have a good chat. I'm doing well. I hope you guys are too, as well as possible. We're a little sick of hanging out in the house, but I'm good. Let's see. How many times should you exfoliate a week? So again, you guys, I know I sound like a broken record when I say it really is dependent on your skin. And this is where skincare gets personal. So for me, I can use an exfoliating toner almost every single day. My skin is used to it. I don't have reactions. I know which ones that I like. I talk about the Ren Ready Steady Glow all the time because I love that one. But I can use exfoliating toners almost every single day on my skin and it doesn't bother my skin, even with all the other actives that I use. But not everybody is like that. So you have to just test it out and see what works for your skin and be very aware of what you're using on your skin and if it's starting to get sensitive. Can The Ordinary, oh man, it just disappeared. Thoughts on Timeless Vitamin C with Ruluc? I think it's okay. I haven't personally tried it, but I will say, I've seen this trend lately where people bash all these brands and they talk about like all the unethical things that they're doing with, inside these brands behind the scenes and stuff. And I'll throw out there, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes of a lot of these brands. And what we see online is only one side of the story usually. But I will throw out there, I think that people don't do enough research into who are behind the brands. And, Timeless is one of those. I don't know who's behind this brand. And I always wonder that. I always want to know because I want to know if they really care about my skin. Don't you guys? Let's see. How to know if a product is comedogenic. Well, you can look up ingredients that could potentially be comedogenic. I'd say a lot of the products on the market, though, are probably not comedogenic. They're not made to be anyway. And they probably have taken that into account. You know how I feel about coconut oil, though, if you watch my channel. Can I use micellar water to remove cleanser instead of tap water as hard? You can. You technically can. If you have hard water, I understand why you would do that. The thing to keep in mind with the micellar water is it's still a cleanser. It's a more gentle cleanser. It's not going to be the same kind of surfactants as some of the regular cleansers out there, but it still has surfactants in it to work, right? Or it's kind of oil-based and it might have surfactants or preservatives in it. You want it to have preservatives to be a safe product. And so that's just going to sit on your skin still. So I always say you want to rinse it off at least, but it kind of depends. If it's, I guess if you've got really bad hard water and it's irritating your skin and making your skin look dull and everything, and micellar water just works better, then I'd say go with the micellar water. Okay. Best affordable leave-on salicylic acid. I haven't thought about what would be the most affordable one. I'm going to come back to you with that. I'll answer that question eventually. I haven't tried. I mean, I've got this one sitting here. I know everyone loves this one. It's a good, nice, straightforward salicylic acid toner. Any other questions? You guys, it's 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, which means our time is up. But I love all of you so much. I'm so glad I got to do a live. Tell me in the comments if you think I should do a live more often. I know I haven't been doing a lot of lives, so I can do more lives if you guys want to. And I'm on TikTok now. I'm trying, and the more followers I get, the more I do it. So I hope that this was helpful. I love you so much. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying happy. And, you know, more videos coming soon. I love you. Bye, everyone.